Greetings, beloved, and welcome back to another episode of the Crocheting in Agreement podcast. I crochet prayer blankets and shawls for the sick, and I stand in agreement for their complete healing through Jesus Christ. This channel is by Him, for Him, and because of Him. I hope you enjoy. Welcome back. My name is Melissa, and I am coming to you from the northern Shenandoah Valley in Virginia. Today is Friday, February 21st, 2020, and this is episode number 20. Thank you so much for coming back for another video. Last video I had 451, and now I'm up to 469 as of recording this. So thank you for coming back, and thank you for all of my new subscribers as well. God bless you, each and every one. In this episode, I have quite a few finished objects and whips, and I also have an interesting little bag challenge that I have for all of you out there that know how to make bags. I'm going to put the timestamp right here for those of you who simply want to skip right to that. I'll put it right here on the screen. But I got a bag just from Amazon. It was through Miles Kimball for Christmas, and there's pros and cons about it, but I think if it could be tweaked a little bit, it would be an absolutely fantastic and a hit for all of us crafters. So if anyone out there that makes bags would like to skip or just watch whatever, would like to try this bag challenge, and you do try it and you do actually succeed, please let me know. I will get one because this is an amazing bag, but it just needs a few tweaks. If I'm just totally off my rocker, I don't know anything about sewing or making bags, but please disregard if this is like the most far-fetched idea you've ever heard of. But I just want to throw out my ideas, so if anyone out there can do that, that would be phenomenal. Okay, so now that I have you at a zoomed out point of view, I want to share with you my first finished object. My last episode, I don't think I took a picture of where I was, I'm sorry, but this was still a work in progress. This had actually been a work in progress since, I want to say maybe August. It was one of those projects that was very slow going, and it's very meticulous because it's DK weight yarn, and it's a lot of single crochets, so it took a while with a size G hook. But I have finally finished my prayer blanket. And for those that may not remember, this is with the Lion Brand Mandala, and it is the colorway Wishing Well. This blanket it's made with, I used 4 cakes of the Wishing Well. It is at a size G 4mm hook. It is 59 inches long and 34.5 inches wide, and it weighs 1 pound and 5 ounces, which is significantly lighter than worsted weight yarn. They usually run about a pound or more, or twice as much, maybe close to 3 pounds sometimes. Yeah, the Lord told me to make blankets with some DK weight yarn. I have another one that I showed in a previous video that is waiting to be shipped out with this and the prayer shawls that are completed. My next finished object is I am finally done with the blanket that was named Renew Daily. I don't remember how many skeins this was, but this was with some donated yarn. It is the Kmart brand, Sayel, very vintage, old yarn. But this was the one where the Lord led me. He always leads me, tells me what stitches, what size, what color or colors. He always tells me everything. But this one right here, I wasn't even looking or asking or praying about a blanket. He pointed these 3 colors out to me from my stash. He pointed those 3 out and told me chevron. And I wasn't very good at chevrons. I've had a little bit of practice since then. I made my husband a blanket for Christmas that turned out really good. But of course I had some doubt in my mind, but the Lord always comes through. It's amazing what He can do. Something that you think you're not very good at, you put your trust in the Lord and He will see you through, and He will cause whatever you put your hand to prosper. My phone went to sleep, sorry. This blanket is, it is called Renew Daily because it is based on the scripture of 2 Corinthians 4:16, for which cause we faint not, though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. And the very next morning I was working on this. I started on it in the evening, and I woke up the next morning, 6:30 I believe it was. I'm sitting there working on it. The sun is coming up. At this point it didn't have a name, but the sun was coming up, and that's when the Lord put that scripture on my heart and told me that this blanket would be called Renewed Daily. It is 62 inches long, so it's I'm holding it right here, and it's on the floor. So, peekaboo. 62 inches long, and it is 38 and a half inches wide, and it is 2 pounds, 4.6 ounces. This is worsted weight, so that's what an average worsted weight blanket would weigh. I like weighing my blankets because it gives you also an idea of how heavy they are. Video and picture just can't really do it justice. But I forgot to mention, I'm going to go ahead and pop in a picture here. I think I put it at the beginning too, but I'll go ahead and put a picture here of each of those blankets, or a few pictures right here. Okay, now I'm back to this point of view. Okay, my last video, I shared some head towels that I had made for my Etsy shop, and I have made another one now. And I'm starting to modify them a little bit, but here is shades of brown and like a cream color, and I have added border, like I think that was 3 rows of single crochet, just to make it a little bit wider this way. I'm also working on a modified pattern for it as well, but here is another head towel. These are available on my Etsy shop. The link is below. Go check them out. I apologize for the glare that was over there. I hope I got rid of it now. But I also I added some edging to this one. And I already showed these towels, but okay, that's the only one I've added edging to. I need to get on the ball. I love this one. This is my favorite. Okay, but I am also working on a modified. I haven't worked on this much, but I've started another one in these colors. It's neat how variegated pulls sometimes. But this will be another head towel. Also, in my last video, I had shown 3 washcloths that I made for my Etsy shop. I was almost done. Well, I was working on the fourth one, but those are all done. It doesn't take long to make one of these, but these are on my Etsy shop as well. There are 4 in a set, and they are super duper soft. They are insanely soft. But I've got this color in the gold. I think I know it's taupe. I have a set in the off-white, set of 4 again, super duper soft. Let's show you a close-up. I also have, and this is with the Sinfonia. I had mentioned in my last video, I think I call it Seraphine, but this is with Hobby Lobby Sinfonia mercerized cotton, and I was debating whether to use a different stitch, but I decided, since it's a DK and it's so thin, that I would just stick with the single crochet in the back loop. And they wound up being slightly smaller, so I added even more border on this. But here is the navy and the mercerized cotton, and again, there's 4 of those. And I have started a set of purple. Got 2 made, working on the 3rd one. But my goodness, this is so soft. I might have to make myself a set of these. They're so soft. And about 3 or so years ago, I made myself a pillow that I have an ergonomic pillow, one of the memory foam ones with the curve that goes under your neck, but that never really seemed to make any difference. It just seemed like a regular pillow, or maybe slightly better, but not good enough for me. So I made myself an ergonomic pillow, and I've had this thing, like I said, about 3 years, and I always use it every single night. And even when I'm on a trip, I take it. This goes with me. Everywhere I go, this goes with me. It's pretty long, too. So it can be cumbersome sometimes. But I decided, since I love this so much, why not make some for my Etsy shop? So I made this one. Obviously, it's shorter, because I learned from my pillow that it doesn't need to be 3 feet long, or close to it. Don't remember the measurements for this, but this, excuse me, is on my Etsy shop, and this is a regular size head. You can use it neck. You can use it for your neck or your back if you want some lumbar support. Like had a rough day, stick this, lay down, put it under your back. It works for both. This is on my Etsy shop, and I am also about to post a travel size, which will be about half this length. Just perfect for in a car if you're driving, put it behind your back. If you're on an airplane, for your neck or back. Yeah, just go to my Etsy shop if you want to buy one of these, and I will be making more colors as well. This is just the taupe, the first one I make. So that's a finished object as well. Now that I have an Etsy shop, hopefully I will have more finished objects and make more videos more often, hopefully. And actually, I do believe that I will probably start making separate videos for the Etsy items, because they're not related to prayer blankets and such. So I feel like that's more of a commercial type thing. So I'll probably just start making separate videos for that stuff. But since I'm here today anyways, and I need to show some stuff, I got another Etsy item to show you guys, just something very small. In my last video I showed some stitch markers that I made for my Etsy shop, and let me find the right ones here. Got them in a little cup. A lot of the stitch markers that I had on my Etsy shop, some of them I only had one set, and just to see how they sell, and I've gotten some sales already, so I decided to start making more of the same. But for one of those styles I had to modify it because I didn't have enough me show you what I'm talking about. Be easier to show you than, and I'm going to try. Be easier to show than to tell. But this set right here, originally, they all looked like this one right here with the teal bead. But I didn't have enough of those teal beads, so I had to go and modify it by using, I'm trying to find my jump ring. I have bigger jump rings ordered now, but I had to go back in and change these beads. So now I have 4 sets. 2 sets of leatherback, 2 sets of lobster clasp, and they're all the same. Well, with the exception of the polymer clay beads, because they're unique. I mean, they do have some that are identical, but not like large amounts, like 10 or 12 or whatever. But there is that modified set. I did show that last video, but it was just the dark. They were all teal beads. Also, here's another new set, well, that I've made since my last video. And some of my sets, if they're short, if they're small like this, I sell them in sets of 6. I have another set where the same thing is done. They are in sets of 6 instead of 5. So here's another set that I made. Here is another set of 5. I love these clasp beads at the bottom. This little pink and teal. So pretty. And then the pearl, the faux pearl beads are really nice too. There's another set that's available. And all of these sets are available in both lobster clasp and leatherback. And also I showed some yarn hanks slash charms that I made. These, yeah, I feel like I wish they were a little better. I'm hoping maybe with practice I'll get a little better. But I made some labeled ones. There's an F5. Let's see if I can show in order. G6. H8. I9. And J10. Those are also available on my website, just like the other hanks. If you want to have them put on, if you want a lobster or leatherback clasp, lobster as a charm or as a crochet stitch marker, I can put that on for you. If you want a bigger jump ring on it for knitting, I can put that on for you. I can put a leatherback, or you could just buy it as is and make your own. Also, yesterday, playing around, this probably would be better to just show you. I'm not getting any yellow, but I made a whole bunch of these little, still playing with the polymer clay, and I made a bunch of little heart charms. Some are larger with the eye screw in them, like that. And some of them are, I got blue as well, and then some of them are just tiny little charms like that that have a hole all the way through. Here's a blue one with the, that's purple, sorry, colorblind. I'm actually in the dark now almost, since I shut that curtain. There's a blue one. Most likely I'm going to set these up as stitch markers. I wasn't planning on, I haven't decided if they're going to be charms. Most likely they'll turn into stitch markers. So I guess that would technically be a work in progress, not necessarily a finished object. And that is all for my finished objects. So now I have just a couple whips to show you guys. Let me start off with, this was a, had to do some frogging on this. It really stank, but I'm pulling yarn every which way. Okay, well, my last video, hold on, let me get this straightened out. Okay. My last video, this is one of the donated Granny Square prayer blankets. My last video, I had done these 2 yellow rows and 1 square of the red. I've done that row of the yellow and this row of the yellow. As you can see, those squares are bigger, but I modified it, made it work. And I had another row after this. As you can probably see, there's still some pieces. I used some very old red heart to put these together, so it did not frog like I would have liked it to frog. I had a pile of scrap yarn like this. I had to cut it. But I had another row, and I had put way too many squares, and when I opened it up to look at it, it flared out. And I had actually already started on the next row below it. So I had to take all of that back out. And I haven't worked on it as much as I would like to, so still working on it. But once I commit myself, I know I can get this done quickly. Just need to commit myself to it. I think I said that last video too, didn't I? Something along that line. Now, I am very proud of this whip. I went to Yarnspiration, Mikey Selleck, Crochet Crowd, just to kind of, like I said, I'm not that good at chevrons. I'm working on the chevrons. I wanted to get a classic, good peaked chevron. You know, Renew Daily is kind of more like a ripple or a wave stitch. I wanted to find a good peaked one. This one isn't nearly as peaked as I would like for it to be, but I used Mikey's, I think he said 28 stitches per foot. And I wanted, I think I was shooting for a 7-foot blanket, maybe 6, I can't even remember now. But I done the calculation like he said, but I wound up with a blanket that is 2 inches from being 9 feet long. Let me get this one. It is a whip, so, and I started it, I downloaded an app called Crochet Land. I did have Stitch Helper or something like that, but it looked too, it didn't show up right on my tablet. So I downloaded an app called Crochet Land. I started it, according to that app, January 30th. I don't work on it every day, but I try to. But this, there's no way I could possibly show you the length, but I did calculate 1, 2, 3. Okay, once I do another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I've already started the brown on the other end. Once I do another brown, do a brown, white, brown, it will be 35 inches wide so far. I think I'm going to shoot for about 42 to 45. I can't remember exactly what I measured, but I mean, it started with brown, it will end with brown. But this sucker, just watch this. There is no way I could show you the length of this thing, But let me tell you, it is a beast. And there's the end. But it is so pretty. This is being made for my Etsy shop. I know a lot of people like the classic, either chevron or the granny square. People that can't crochet, so I thought this would be perfect. It would match any decor. So this is on my hook extensively. My goal is to at least have it done in the next 2 weeks, hopefully. I kind of wish I would have started with something smaller. But I feel like it would be nice to have something rather large on my Etsy shop. I've got a lot of small things, a few medium price things, but I wanted to get just at least one major item on there. So, yeah, hopefully that will be done very soon, because this is quite an extensive project. So far, I mean, I am using, let me let you know about that, I am using Karen 1 pound. Some of you, especially Karen at Fiber Hearts, knows about my bountiful supply of taupe 1 pound. A couple years ago, I got a crazy, insane sale. It's like $1.37 a skein, so I went nuts. But yeah, that's what I'm using. And white, just the taupe and white, a Karen 1 pound. And so far, I have used an entire skein of each. And you know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys this bag, because this is the bag that's holding it. Okay, guys, here you go. This is the craft bag, project bag challenge. If I can, hopefully I can show you guys. This is on Amazon. You can see how much is left of that, but we're gonna move on to the bag right now. I'm gonna put a link to this bag in Amazon. In the description box. It's from Amazon. It's made by Miles Kimball. If any of you know, that is also a place that sells cool items. I'm not as concerned about some of the pockets, although I do love this zipper pocket up here. I actually put my whatever end I'm not currently using, I'll wad it up, throw it in there, but also keep my hook in there. It's in there. You can't see it, but it's in there. There it is. But, okay, let me see if I can accurately show you guys. This is the key features about this bag that I like. It has this compartment. It has this, and it's separate. It's got a little wall in between here. It's got this compartment, and it's got this compartment. So it's got, and this will hold a 1 pound. You guys know how big a Karen 1 pound, it's huge. Got to kind of stuff it a little bit, but it will fit. But it holds 3 of them there, and then it's got this section back here. I was using this section to keep my blanket in, but this is wide open. There's no dividers, but you can also use this section also to keep your yarn, and you have 6 holes in the top to send your yarn through. So you can use, actually, if you could fit more, you could send more than 2 through, or more than 1 through there, but it will easily hold 6 skeins of yarn. Okay, that's a great feature. I love the riveted holes, I guess that's what you call it, and I love the zippered storage, and I love the handle. Okay, what I don't love is, what do you do with your project? There's no place for your project. Like I said, I kept it in here when it was small, but it will not fit in there anymore. So my challenge to anyone out there who can make a bag, even if it's not exactly like this, I love the features of being able to store the yarn sitting up like that, so that you can center skein pull right through there. And you know, if you need to change colors, I'm frequently doing blankets that need several colors, so it's perfect to not have to have them laying in a tub. I love the portability of it. Most of my blankets projects are in tubs, and you can't take those anywhere. This makes a blanket portable if there was a place to put it. So I'm thinking if there was a way to put another compartment up above this one, so that technically this would be the bottom of the next section. Still have your zippers here, or some sort of enclosure where you can put your yarn in. Still have that there, but also have a section up here you can open up and put your project in it when you're not using it, and keep it portable. Yes, it might be a rather large bag, and I'm sure it could be quite expensive, but for someone that makes a lot of blankets like I do, and I'm sure I'm not the only one out there, this would be a godsend. So if anyone out there can possibly conjure up something like that, that would just be fantastic. I can't sew, so like I said, if this is like the craziest, most insane idea, feel free to just laugh away at me. I don't know, but it's just a suggestion. I don't know if anyone out there is looking for some kind of a new idea for some new bag, but if so, there you go. Let me know if anybody, let me know, either email me or comment down below if you think you can, if you have, or if you've seen any bags like this, if you know anybody that makes bags like this. It would be amazing to have, and that is so close to being perfect. So close, and this was really cheap. I'm willing to pay, you know, a lot more than this, but this is they're onto something. They're almost there. They're almost there. Okay, that little rabbit hole is out of the way. Notes. Here's my notes. Wow, you know what? That was actually the end of my notes. Hey, that works great. Perfect. I feel like I'm missing something, but I'm not. I don't think. If I am, it's probably not that important. But I will be, after I clean up my mess, I have a carousel box to open. Yes, it has been sitting here for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. From Coffee Crochet and Cuddles, Crystal. And it has been to several people, Johnny and Linda. Linda gave it to me, and then, I'm sorry, you know what, I actually have that on my phone. I will find it. Gina, yes, and Chris, I forgot about Chris. So yes, it went from Crystal to Johnny, and she is Dreamweaver Creations. Then it went to Gina, Crafty Grandma, Gina, and Chris from Hey It's Chris, and Linda's Yarn Barn. Then to me, and next it will go to Jill, the Fiber Floozy. Then she will send it to Amanda, Yarn Snub. I'm going to put everybody's names on the screen as I'm saying them, and their links below. And then after Amanda, it will go back to Crystal, Coffee Crochet and Cuddles. So I hope you guys have an amazing, wonderful, fabulous weekend, full of God's blessings and mercy. And God bless you all. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.